Yo guys, it's JJ here, and today, as you've seen by the title of the video, we're gonna be walking you guys through a me versus myself A Boogie album tutorial. And yes, I know we haven't dropped it yet. If I'm not wrong, it's dropping on the 4th of November. However, looking forward to the release. A Boogie's always got some tunes, but today we're gonna be going through like an emotional one. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So first of all, we gotta start the instance of piano V2, because you know A Boogie has a lot of guitar and piano melodies. He just always has them. But for the emotional joints, I thought, you know what, let me go with a piano. So got piano V2 open, use American Large Studio, and this is what I came up with. And as you guys can see, not too complicated, but it does the job really nicely. So I'll just walk you through it. First of all, we got ourselves the root notes, as you guys can all see, and they literally just play over not once, not twice, but 3 times, as you guys can see again. And then from there, I initially played the whole thing as one note, but as you can see, I kind of cut it in different sections, give it a bit more rhythm. And once I did that, I added these nice little transitioning notes, and it just gave it a lot more emotion, especially when you're using notes in tension like here and here. You know, semitone apart creates that emotion. And then for a nice little switch, at the end of the A bar, I just added a few more chords instead of just leaving it to drag out for a finish. So without further ado, this is what the main melody sounds like. And there you have it. As you can hear, very emotional, very much hitting your feelings. It's a lot of pretty much major, minor chords being used. And of course, very important, as you guys will hear now, you want to click Alt-S to initialize that strummer, and then click Alt-R to randomize your velocity as well. In doing so, your melody will sound so much more human, much more natural, and you can't go wrong with it. As for effects, I started off with a basic EQ, ducking some frequencies I wasn't a fan of. And then on top of that, I just whacked a reverb because the piano was so clean in itself. It didn't need like some RC20 stuff, just nice clean piano. A Boogie's vocals will do the rest. And then I stereo separated this just a bit, like 30%, widening the image, so that's what I did. As for the top line of the melody, I used the same preset from the same plugin again, and this is the top line I created. As you guys can see, obviously it's up an octave again, or like 2 octaves higher. I came up with a nice little simple melody, and I didn't want it to take up too much room as the counter melody, just let it do its thing, because again, remember, in emotional kind of joints, kind of want to leave it very open, very spaced out for the artist. So that's a really important tip. Always leave a lot of space for the artist. Don't let the melody and the drums do too much, but just make it sound very lush and nice. So without further ado, and with all that being said, this is what the counter melody sounds like. And there you have it. As for effects, this was the EQ I whacked on. Not much done, but highs and lows gone off. On top of that, I added the fruity delay, and this is the settings I put onto it. And then last but not least, a fair amount of reverb, just to give it a bit more ambience. So again, it creates that emotion. It feels like what the album cover looks like. You're looking into like the water, and it's just like all spacey and vibes, and that's what you want to go for. Then on top of that, I panned this to the left 50%, and I stereoized it like 70%. And this is because there's another counter melody that plays at the same time to kind of bounce up each other, and you'll hear it now. And as I just said, this is the counter melody. As for the one shot, it's one of the producer Grimes guitar one shot, so this is the kit I got it from. And as you guys can see, very basic counter melody again. You don't want it to be too crazy, let the vocals do the job. Again, that's why you're leaving it open. And this is pretty much what I came up with. Very simple, following some nice notes, and apart from that, that's all you really need. So this is what the counter melody sounds like. And there you have it. That's all you need for the counter melody. It sounds very emotional, very nice, with a nice little electric guitar, and that's what you needed. As for effects, very basic EQ, cutting off lows and highs. Then I added a reverb, again with a heavy amount of decay, and this was the presets I used. Then last but not least, I panned this to the right side of my ear because this is the other counter melody playing, and the panning is pretty much the same as the other one. And the stereoization is pretty much the same as the other melody because they're both in the same kind of feel, they play together. So I thought it would be nice to stereoize them to the same kind of level, so when they play together, it sounds really coherent and good. Then next up, we got a bass called the Source Space, and if I'm not wrong, it's from the Artillery Bank. And obviously, I just followed the bass line of the original melody and then just added a few transitional notes. So this is what it sounds like. And there you have it. Sounds really nice, emotional, as I said before. and that's the whole aim of it. And the synth bass always really goes well for like a boogie beats. I would say also use a normal bass, but I prefer using synth basses. But again, it's all up to the melody, the beat that you're making, so go with what you think sounds good. And then last but not least, we got ourselves a preset called Crib. I have no idea what bank I got this from, unfortunately, so I do apologize. And what I did here was create a nice little app, but I use it following the chords of the main melody. As you guys can see here, there's that's one chord there, that's one chord here, another chord here. And then I just filled in with an extra note that I thought sounded good. Honestly, that's all it was. And then I clicked Alt-R to randomize the velocity, give the ARP a bit more like humanization. Simple as that. Without further ado, this is what the ARP sounds like. And there you have it. As you can see by the sound selection, it's very ambient, very nice. It suits the whole aesthetic of A Boogie's emotional kind of beats. Piano-ish, you got that ambience, use the electric guitar, creates emotion. It's just about sound selection at the end of the day, and that's what really helped pull this together. As for effects, I literally got a basic EQ again, lows and highs cut off, and then just play with the frequencies I wasn't a fan of. And then on top of that, got another Valhalla vintage verb, and this was the presets I played with. And then last but not least, I stereoized this to the max, because this was kind of like a background element. It wasn't like too front forward in the mix. Really well needed component in my opinion. So without further ado, this is what the full melody sounds like. And there you have it. That's the full melody. Sounds super dope, emotional, ambient, exactly what you want from an A Boogie vibe. And let's get straight into these drums. First of all, we got ourselves a very basic clap pattern, using it, of course, the Lex Luger slap clap. Without further ado, this is what it sounds like. And there you have it. Next up, we got ourselves an open hat, and it repeats every 2 bars, you guys can see by the pattern. And without further ado, this is what the open hat sounds like. I don't think you guys want to hear the whole thing, but that's what it sounds like. As for the kick, we got ourselves a nice pan going here. And of course, you want to click Control A and use your scroller wheel to max the velocity out. Max the velocity. 3 words, simple. It has a nice little punch, a nice little kick. You know how it be, I always say it every video, but I gotta remind you guys. So without further ado, this is what the kick sounds like. And there you have it. And last but not least for the drums, because there's no 808 in this beat at all, it's a very emotional beat, so there's no real need in my opinion. The synth bass does take it a long far away. So no need for an 808. However, we got ourselves the hi-hats, and as you can see, it's literally an alternating velocity hi-hat. Every 2 step, there's a different velocity being played, and you just copy and paste it throughout the whole thing. And then you get a pattern like this, and this is what it sounds like. And there you have it. It gives it a nice little bit of groove, a nice little bit of a change to the regular, just basic 2-step, and it gives it a bit more of a feel, you know what I mean? So that's the hi-hat for you. So officially, without further ado, this is what the full drum pattern sounds like. And there you have it. You've made it to the end of the video. I really appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it, of course. But do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow all my socials down below. Click that notification bell up there. I appreciate you guys. Take it easy. Peace.